So what's your name?
Yullbrenna.
Ah, fresh meat!
Alright, hey everybody, Yullbrenna here with another Ability Arena gameplay video. This time we're going to be playing Lifestealer, who in my opinion is more of a B, C tier type god. I don't value it highly, but maybe that is just my strategy around it. So let's talk about what Lifestealer does. So Lifestealer grants one of your units Infest, so at half health, they're going to jump inside an enemy hero, do some physical attacks, and then also heal based off of shop level, and then at the end they'll pop out and do some damage. So with that strategy in mind, usually how I like to play it is this unit will be on your front line and we'll be doing some sort of magical or physical instant attacks or things of that nature, do some burst damage, it'll go inside, heal, and then come out and do some burst damage. So you could do some Eye of the Storm type stuff, you could do Pulse Nova, you could do a lot of like, say, Boundless Strike, Acorn Shot, or I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to try to use a lot of magical damage, which is going to include Chakram, because Chakram can be cast while your unit is infested, and that's getting the benefit of, you know, your unit is attacking, doing damage, while it essentially can't be touched. So I picked up Nyx to start with it, and the reason I picked up Nyx is because of the innate that Nyx has, where it can drain mana based off of damage done. Though I don't really see it working out. Maybe that's just because I don't have a lot of points in my spells, and so it's not doing as much damage. But it's not working out at the moment. I'll keep it on, see if it does damage as I get more spell points, and maybe I'll pivot away if I don't like it. So leveling up, so now Nyx will be able to infest. It doesn't infest at shop level 1, so make sure you get at least one spell point in there. And I've got Waveform. Waveform's a great spell to start. Probably put that on my front line, the next possible unit. So there's a great example of infest working. My Lich is getting attacked. Nyx goes and infests that unit, and then pops out, does some damage, it actually saves my Lich, and we end up turning the tide. So I think early on and mid-game, Lifestealer really thrives, but there can be some times where Lifestealer kind of, you know, will use its infest towards the later half. If you build too much lifesteal, it's not going to use its infest, and all your other units die, and then when it pops out, it's kind of a 5-on-1, and there's just no way for it to turn around. So I see Berserker's Blood, that could be something I use instead, and I'm kind of just need to pick up some good spells. So I find Chakram. If you remember, that's the one I wanted to use to see how it works, and if he can use Chakram while he's infested to do some consistent damage, even when he can't attack. So let's see if it works. So infested, Chakram's working. Really happy about that. A little bit tight here. Nyx ran out of mana. It's low level, and I managed to pull it out. So on a winning streak to start. Pretty happy about that because I don't have any high level spells yet, but I do like the combo with Chakra Magic and Chakram, just throwing out spells repeatedly and keeping the mana too, because you just saw I do need the mana, especially on Nyx or a frontliner that I'm going to be using. So losing to a Centaur builds always are pretty solid early. I'm going to pick up Paladin Sword. Paladin Sword is a very generic item to pick up. You can use it for lifesteal, you can use it for spell lifesteal, so I think it'll work on, I can use it on my Nyx, I can use it for physical damage dealer. Right now, Lich is my top damage dealer, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it on. glitch. Also, facing all of these centaurs, I think I'm going to pick up Ice Path. There's a lot of Berserker's Blood, and I don't see too many breaks, so that's why I'm going to pick up Ice Path, and I'll eventually get that in once my next unit comes out. I'll do a shuffle of spells. Again, there's the Berserker's Blood, so it would be nice to have some Ice Path in there to prevent that healing. So Sniper pops up, solid ranged carry. Getting Ice Path in, and then again, we're limited on breaks, so I do have Magic Missile. If I could get that to Gaben, that would be great. Again, I don't want Lifestealer my Lifestealer unit to be the last one living, so I do get Shadow Dance as well. I think that's a strong, underrated spell that not a lot of people get. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Get into the backline pretty well there. And Nick's actually doing really well in the damage department. So a couple spells popping up. I do like Waveform with some sort of disable, so I'll grab Pulverize. And I think my final build will be Rolling Thunder plus Rot. This is like a classic combo that I used to use all the time. I haven't used it in a while, but it provides damage, it provides crowd control, so I really like it. And the next build, again, wasn't working that well as far as the innate, and if you're not taking advantage of the innate, his stat gain isn't fantastic. So the reroll, I get Marci, not the greatest, but a pretty solid body, so we'll go with that. This Undying build, I do have Bash of the Deep, so I should be in a good amount of stun lock. Got Rolling Thunder in there too, so I feel like I counter the Undying pretty well. You can see there's you know, a couple Centaur builds, there's the Undying build. A lot of people saw the lack of breaks in this game and decided to go for that, so Bash of the Deep is a good way to counter that. If there's no breaks, just bash them. Or just overload it with magic damage, and that's also why I got Magic Missile too. I hope I can get that to Gaben, but it's a long shot. It's a spell that has a pretty bad build up. So this one got a really tinky front line, but I've got 2 units in the back line, pretty much avoiding that front line, and I've got Bash in the Deep as well, so hopefully I can just stun lock this guy. There's the power of Lifestealer as well, popping in, coming out, doing some damage. Go ahead and go with Mars for my last unit. You know, good unit for the Rolling Thunder plus Rock combo. And I do like Black Hole more than I like Pulverize for a Waveform combo. So on a winning streak, in second place, the Centaur builds are also up here with me. The lack of breaks, definitely a benefit for them. So let's see if I can overwhelm them with magic damage and keep the streak going. Still going strong here again. Really liking this backline movement with Marci. Again, I like Lifestealer either being one of your first frontline units, so it immediately gets infested, or getting to the backline, maybe taking some damage and using the power of the Infest unit. You don't want your Infest unit to have so much regen that it's the last one alive and hasn't used Infest. I think you're not taking advantage of the God as much. Again, I feel like I'm countering that Undying build, so I'm not too worried about the Undying build. And like I said, I'm max shop now. You do want to be max shop with Marci. I think it takes, or with Lifestealer, I think it does take advantage of the Infest combo. So happy I got that. On a winning streak still. Let's see if we can keep this going. Sniper did get hit with Ice Blast, so Dark Pack isn't going to do as much, and yeah, he goes out. It did kill the backline, but my backline also got pretty wrecked. Marci's going to see if she can do some damage. Looks like we're struggling a bit here. So Sange pops up. That's a great build, or a great item for my build. And then I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and I think it works better with Blink. Blink has Spell Lamp at Gaben, and then at Super also has cooldown reduction. It's causing silence. It's getting to the backline a little bit quicker, so I think it works better with the spell damage that I want to apply. Also picked up Bloodlust for Mars to put on Sniper. Just adds a little bit more attack damage, and I think it delays a little bit Mars getting into the backline. So Mars, it takes a while to cast Bloodlust. We'll cast that, cast Rolling Thunder, and then slowly get into the backline. This kind of causes some delayed stun. I think worked out pretty well because the initial waveform, the initial Marci backline disruption, it's a good follow-up. So back to winning ways there. I've been struggling with the Centaur builds. I'm sure most people are, since they're in the top 3 with me. Pretty tough with the breaks, but I think the builds are on the right track if I can get the right spell points. You see this guy has a lot of Spirit Siphon, but I've had the Ice Blast, so they were really struggling to stay alive. Ice Blast is one of those spells that is such a great counter to so many builds. Surprisingly not picked up as much as it should, and I don't think I need to go super on it. I do have 4 points in it, but I think level 3 is enough on it. Just grabbing the main things that I need right now. You can see I do have a value point in Battery Salt just for some stun, but Omni Knight's really just causing, waveform and causing some space so my backline stays alive. So in second place on a win streak, same with first place. Going well here. Rolling Thunder, again, not going to be one of my main things, so I don't need to go past level 3 on it. I need to focus on my key spells here. Get hit with Ice Blast pretty hard, so Sniper pretty much can't contribute at all. Getting to the back line, seeing if I can do some consistent damage, but looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble doing damage, and this is one of the downfalls. He's got 4 units alive, my Lifestealer infested at the end, so it's kind of difficult. Did a lot of damage, but I think there's the downside of why Lifestealer maybe isn't the best god. But again, if you can get your units to get focused, I put Marci in the back line. Hopefully they attack and they can go and infest and cause that damage while healing up. I think there are some benefits there. There just may be some other gods that are more powerful. So do a little bit better this time on this one. His backline did survive a little bit, but his front line was getting beat down. Lich and Sniper are doing some good amounts of damage. 2 points of Ice Path do pop up, so I'm gonna go ahead. I might as well, again, it is a little bit of a sunken cost, but I'll get it to super. Might as well, since both of them are right there, and I accidentally got that point to get it to 4, so not the biggest deal in the world. Sniper again getting hit with Ice Blast, so died but managed to kill the Medusa before he died, so this is looking a little bit better. He's got a really tanky unit in the axe, but I do have a couple of my units alive and hopefully I can take care of him. Since they've got some tanky units, I do go for Arc Lightning, which is going to do % base damage at super. So Lich should continue to contribute in the damage department. And there's not many breaks, so Magic Missile would be helpful. There's a lot of health on this top 3, so maybe I get lucky, maybe it pops and I can get Gaben. Sniper pretty much stun locking one of his tanky frontline units, and the other one was the last one alive while Marci and Omni Knight kind of went to the backline and took care of business. Bash of the Deep, I don't normally go past level 3, I'm kind of just goofing around and seeing if I can get Bash of the Deep to Gaben. I think it's kind of a funny spell when it gets to Gaben and keeps doing that Slither and Crush on the unit. It's just, it can be really annoying at Gaben. Again, not something I would normally go with past level 3, but kind of just doing it to see what the game looks like. And doing pretty well, taking care of his backline. Medusa doesn't stand a chance. Sniper even survives this time, so you can see him consistently getting better with the spell points that I'm putting in compared to his build. And yeah, just did a lot better that round, and I think ended up knocking him out. That was the other Centaur player. Could go Giant's Ring with like Mars, or I do like Kaya Sange on the Marci, but because of the Centaur builds, they're going to be having a lot of regen. I've seen that before, so Ioscati just works. And there we go, there's Bash of the Deep at Gaben, so it's going to be doing that Slither and Crush on attack, so Sniper should be pretty annoying for his frontline, and he's got 2 tanky frontliners that he'll keep one of them pretty busy. Also got Rot to Gaben. I think that's one of those spells that not a lot of people get. Rot provides some heals and some disable, so you can see the Legion Commander just completely shut down because of Mars and Sniper. Ioscati doing work here as well. He's trying to regen, but isn't getting much regen in there, especially because the Rot again at Gaben provides that dismember. So took care of him really easily. I think only lost 1 unit there. Waveform, another great spell. Got that to Gaben. So it's looking really good on a winning streak, and I feel pretty confident against this guy unless he manages to turn it around. So always check out your opponent. Again, my 2 units of Marci and Omni Knight get into the backline, causing disruption, causing stuns, damage, is having a real problem, and his frontline is tanky, but I think that Sniper's shutting it down pretty easily. He did switch it up, put his Legion Commander on the other side. The Ice Blast is a huge counter to his build as well, because all that regen that he has just isn't working out. I get Blink to Gaben, and that's why one of the reasons I went for Blink over Rolling Boulder is because of that spell amp. So I got the spell amp from Kaya on Marci, and now I've got the spell amp from Blink. So Marci's damage should shoot up quite a bit here. Already doing really well. The Sniper's kind of leading, but Marci has been a real problem for my opponent's backline. Is probably the reason I'm winning here. And let's see if can continue the streak and maybe close it out here. Marci just obliterates the backline. All my units are surviving now. It's just too much. Scotty, he prevents the healing, and there we go. Close this one out. Thanks for watching. I thought it was a pretty fun Lifestealer game. Hope you thought so too. And I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.